Okay, here we are in our first section for 2-2, applying algebra to polygons. Now in example 1, it says given angle ABE is 2x plus 3, so I'll start A to B to E. We can write 2x plus 3. And it says EBC, let's see, so here's E to B to C, I'm going to do two arcs here, is going to be 4x plus 6. And there's something that I didn't say that you need to know, is that applying algebra 2, let's say this will be a regular polygon. Remember, this idea regular means that each side is congruent to the other sides. And also that all the angles themselves, like the whole angle here, I'll use red, so that's the whole angle, the whole angle, the whole angle, the whole angle, and of course the whole angle, those are all congruent. Now, why is it necessary for all the angles to be congruent? Well, this allows us to use the formula n minus 2 times 180. And this formula is about to be your best friend. Now remember, n is the number of sides. We could count them up like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I would always encourage you to label your sides. So we now have 5 minus 2 times 180. And 5 minus 2 is 3 times 180. And of course that is equal to 540. Now 540 really doesn't help us out. See, we need to do 540 divided by the number of angles. Remember, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 angles. So 540 divided by 5 is 108 degrees. So we're essentially saying that all of these angles are 108 degrees. Not to make this too messy. But what does that really mean? It means that this angle, where we have these two expressions, is also equal to 108 degrees. And that's actually pretty cool, because that allows us the space to begin solving our problem. Okay, so we know that our angle ABE is this 2x plus 3, and essentially it's a part of the whole angle. So what we can say is okay, well, 2x plus 3 plus, that's our first part, plus the other part, which is this bottom part, 4x plus 6, is equal to the total. And remember, the total for this individual angle is going to be 108 degrees. And now we have a pretty easy problem that you guys are going to absolutely crush. So we have 2x plus 4x will give us 6x when we combine our like terms, and 3 plus 6 will give us 9. And of course that equals 108. Now from there we just do simple algebra. We can subtract 9, Oh, and this could work out really well. We have 6x is equal to 108 minus 9. Let's see, that's 99. And we are going to divide both sides by 6. Now those go away. And let me kind of bring this answer all the way up here. And I actually don't know that these will perfectly divide. So let me just go ahead and grab my handy dandy calculator. And it looks like 99 divided by 6 will in fact give us a decimal. And that decimal will be 16.5. And so x is equal to 16.5. Alright, I would encourage you to pause the video, finish taking any notes that you need, and let's move on to our next example. Okay, here we are in our example 2, and we want to solve for x. Now also I should give you that this is a regular polygon, and I'll abbreviate with reg poly. Now why is it important that it's a regular polygon? Well, that means that this side, this side, this side, this side, that side, and of course that side are all congruent, as are every single angle. And the reason we need that is because we need to know how big is this angle actually. And we'll do this, of course, by using our formula, n minus 2 times 180. Now let's go ahead and count up our sides. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, wait a second, 6 sides, that's a hexagon. We have a regular hexagon. Well, I'll plug in my 6. And of course we now have 6 minus 2 times 180. 6 minus 2 will give us 4 times 180. And this actually becomes 720. Now remember, each one of these angles is not 720. We have to do 720 divided by the total number of angles, which was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And 720 divided by 6 will give us 120. Now, why is that important? That's telling us that this whole angle is 120 degrees. And we can now set up our formula. We can say, okay, well, 10 parentheses 3x minus 5 will have to equal that whole angle 120. Now recall, whenever we have a coefficient or a number outside of the parentheses, we are forced to distribute, which means to multiply, and 10 times 3x will give us 30x, and 10 times negative 5 will give us negative 50, and this equals 120. Now from here, what are we going to do to get x by itself? Well, the opposite of minus 20 is, of course, the opposite of minus 50 is plus 50. So we add 50 to both sides. And of course, we get 30x is equal to 120 plus 50, which is 170. We can now divide both sides by 30, and y'all are going to get this. X equals 170 divided by 30, which I'm no math teacher. My guess is 5.67. Let's try it out on the calculator. 170 divided by 30 is 17/3, or 5.67. Okay. We've now solved for x. That's it. That's all the problem's asking for. By the way, there's a trick question here. It says find the measure of the total angle, and it's going to give you some sort of formula. But check it out. If I was just asking for the angle, you would literally know that it's 120. Oh, here, let me write that. You would literally know that any one of these angles is 120. And so you can actually get the interior angle from just this formula. Okay, let's move on to our third and final example. Okay, and here we are in example 3, and we want to find the measure of each exterior, guys notice I'm going to underline that, exterior angle of the regular polygon. And look, I finally included the words regular polygon. So we know that each side is congruent, and we know that each angle is congruent. And notice I flipped up the number of arcs and lines that I've drawn. So long as there is one hash mark per side, that means all the sides are congruent. And so long as there are 2 arcs per angle, that means they are all congruent. Same number of hash marks, same number of angle arcs, they have to be congruent. Now from here, here's the cool thing about exterior angles. All right, we should know that total exterior angles are always going to be 360. So all you have to do is just count up the number of sides. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And so basically you just do 360 divided by 7. That's going to be something a little bit less than 60. So let me just try it out. 360 divided by 7 will give us 51.429. Now guys, I'm going to start trying to go out to 3 decimal digits if possible. Okay, now one final thing. What do you call something with 7 sides? This is probably an unfamiliar shape. We call this a heptagon. And by the way, it's a regular heptagon. All right, thank you all so much for your patience, and I'll see you guys in our next video.